Good morning. Hello. We're a bit earlier. It's our first 9 a.m. show. Forgive us if we're a bit tired, but I think we're all here. We all made it. I don't know why I said I think. We are all here.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Mark's here physically, but I'm not sure he's actually
I'm fine. I'm just a bit tired.
Mark had a late one last night. What time did you get to bed?
About 5.
Classic.
Just to point out, it's 9.
Yeah.
We got here for about 8:30.
I started my alarms at 8:15 and continually set them for about 5 minutes until about 8:30. At that point, I got up and quickly ran here. Yeah.
But yeah, it's our first NFLementary 2.0, if you will. It was the easiest way to get around the URY scheduling machine. We are still the same NFLementary, don't worry. We're just later in the week and a bit earlier.
In the day.
It will be a little bit more chilled.
Because
we won't have
don't know what we're doing.
Any crazy rewinds or anything like that. This is our prediction show, so we're going to be looking ahead to the weekend coming up. Going to be obviously doing our predictions for each of the games. We're going to be doing the big talking points to come out of those games, and we're also going to be introducing a new segment, which I thought about giving you a sneak peek of the jingle, but I think we'll save it for later.
We'll save it.
But with all that said, let's get cracking and commence with our first segment.
Silence. We're going to nap.
I don't know what I
expected.
expected. I just expected something to happen there. So our first segment, let me hit the new jingle, if it will let me. I'm going to think of a better way to do this next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think we should play this for an hour.
Yeah, why not? That'll get you out of bed, won't it? A bit of Camembert Colin, apparently.
Actually, you know what? This would be a really good alarm.
Camembert, like the cheese.
Like the cheese,
Like
baby.
the cheese, yeah. Camembert.
I guess because it's kind of cheesy, isn't it? But I like it. The segment is predictions. We're all just currently dancing in the studio. That's not doing predictions. Let's just dance for a bit. We're going to be every
Great
week.
audio content, you know. Just
I know. Just this music.
You just hear the chair squeak.
Yeah. Every week we will play this little jingle, and I'll introduce the segment, and that's as far as we've gotten thus far. And then we're just essentially going to go through each of the games coming up, say which ones we like. And this is the interesting part. If I fade down, Mr. Colin, in order to advance to the next stage of our show, the talking points, we're going to need to highlight the talking points, right? But we're not going to use NFL.com talking points. We're not going to use ESPN talking points. Here on NFLementary, we like to make our own. We are, of course, the self-affirmed #1 UK NFL podcast. So the way we're going to do this...
at this point, because I'm completely lost.
The way we're going to do this is as we go through these games and say our predictions, if you want to talk about that game later, you have to come up with a keyword.
I've got one.
Hit it. I think I know what you're thinking.
You have to come up with a ship name for that game.
Ship
name.
Yeah,
so if it was like...
A ship name.
Rams Steelers, it would be Reelers. Like
relationship name.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like HMS Browns or something.
No.
That's a contender.
Okay.
I know what you were thinking.
What was your one?
My word's marmalade.
Marmalade.
Yeah, and if you want to know the reason why, ask me past the watershed.
So we've
I'll
got
say Zippy and George.
Zippy and George, baby.
Yeah.
Sounds like a kids' TV program.
Are we going
Almost
marmalade? Every week it will change, by the way. So you have to tune in each week to find out what our keyword is. Is marmalade the word of the week?
Let's go marmalade.
Let's go marmalade. Right, let's begin. I'll put Camembert Colin back on. And we shall... So you two just turned into a pair of bobbleheads when this music comes on. First game, Cardinals Broncos. What we saying?
Who cares?
Well,
well, we care. Broncos should win because the pass rush should be too much against a rookie
Interesting.
quarterback with no offensive line.
I was about to say exactly the same thing.
I was about to say something completely different.
No.
Cardinals.
Okay.
I'd love to see the Cardinals win this game because that would be 5 straight losses for Vance Joseph and hopefully 5 straight losses away from going bye-bye.
Next up, Chargers Titans.
It's in London, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Our London
Even though
game
when
of the
the
week.
official NFL site predicted it, they reminded us all that Los Angeles will be playing in Tennessee.
Who's technically the home team?
Titans, yeah. Which is rough on them.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Chargers.
I'm Titanic effort.
Oh, nice one.
Ooh, okay.
Is this worth talking about? I think it could be worth a 2-minute discussion. I'm going to marmalade it. Give me Titans. I like that.
Okay.
We will make a note of all these, and then next week come back to them as we do our weekly roundup. Eagles Panthers. I'm going to straight up marmalade this because there's a lot we need to talk about.
Whoa. You're jumping down my list.
I'm obviously going Panthers. It's at Bank of America.
Oh, I thought it was at Philadelphia.
Nope.
Philadelphia.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to go Panthers.
Oh, nice one, Mark. Cheers. Jets Vikings.
I so want the Jets to win this game.
It
and
is
I
in
think
Minnesota.
the Jets could win this game.
They have a dome, don't they?
Really?
In Minnesota.
You really think Darnold can...
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you, Jets.
Darnold's been playing well. Their running game is really good. Their defensive front seven's all right.
You think he'll be okay against the Vikings secondary?
The Vikings' defense has been atrocious thus far.
True.
If there is games,
but then you got the Vikings. I'm going Vikings. I changed my mind. Yeah.
I'm not saying the Jets are going to win.
Sneak it. Who are you saying is going to win?
I've picked the Vikings on the weekly pick'em, but I'd love the Jets to win.
Oh dear.
Colts Bills.
Colts.
Yeah, Colts.
Colts.
If Derek Anderson beats Andrew Luck, he needs to retire. Like, it's not worth the comeback.
Bears Patriots.
Patriots.
Bears.
I'm gonna have to go Patriots. I would have gone Bears if you gone Patriots, but I'll marmalade that one as well.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that. Bucs and Browns.
Browns.
I'm going Browns.
It's in Tampa Bay though,
Browns.
isn't it?
No, it's in Cleveland. Unless
I think
Google have got this the wrong way
round.
Yeah, maybe.
Are you sure?
Because normally it's the second team, isn't it? But I wonder if Google reverses it.
No, I'm pretty sure this game is in Tampa Bay.
Really? On the weekly pick'em, Browns are on the home side.
Oh, really?
Which suggests
this is the level of top quality content you get on NFLementary. It is... No, it's in Tampa, yeah. And the other game is in Philly, yeah.
Yeah.
And the game is in New York, the Jets game.
You know what?
It's the Chargers home game.
I'm the only one that knows what the hell is going on.
I've just got it down on the other side, so these are all the home games.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google have put them the wrong way around.
Right, anyway, Tampa Bay are winning in Tampa Bay against Cleveland.
I'm going Browns.
I'm going Browntown all the way.
It might be a Browntown, yeah.
Browntown.
Yeah.
Is anyone going to marmalade that one?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Jags Texans.
Oh.
In Jacksonville. And I'm right on that one. I've verified.
The Jags are on a 2-game losing streak. They have to win something.
Well, I mean, so do the Texans.
Is it going to be against the Texans?
Yeah, they do.
Camembert Colin is officially finished. Yeah, I'm going to go Texans on that one. And I'll hit marmalade. We should have a marmalade button. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know yet. Come back to me.
Dolphins Lions.
Dolphins. Although Patricia knows the team he's going up against, and I think that could be relevant.
Firstly, yes. Secondly, also, who's actually won in Miami this season? Because apparently it's the Heat that gets to everyone.
They've lost 2 straight games to the Bengals, who had that massive comeback in the fourth quarter, and the Patriots, who just demolished them. Yeah. But that game was in New England. I can't remember.
And then they beat the Bears last week in Miami.
Yeah, with Brock Osweiler, only just.
Brocktober, baby. Actually, I'm going Miami. Osweiler's going to lead them to victory. I'm not. I'm going Lions.
I think Miami will win this game.
Ravens Saints.
Baltimore.
Saints. I hate the Saints, but...
Interesting stat. Drew Brees has defeated every team in the NFL but one. Do you know who it is?
Is it Baltimore?
Baltimore Ravens.
Wow.
Really? Yeah.
That's kind of a big game for him. He might not get another opportunity.
I'm going Saints all the way. He's going to absolutely bomb it. I reckon he's going to
Mark wasn't going to go Saints until he heard that stat.
Until he heard,
he's going to go over 400 yards.
I'll marmalade that one as well. That's an interesting game. Redskins Cowboys. Firstly, does anyone care? 2 of the most toxic fan bases in the NFL. And I'm confident saying that on radio.
I'd like this to be a tie because no one wins.
I'd like them both to just forfeit the game. Are you
predicting a tie?
No, I actually hate ties.
You know what?
As it happens.
I could predict a tie for the Tampa-Cleveland game because chances are it will happen.
That will actually...
That's such a Cleveland thing and such a Tampa thing.
It's too close to the truth.
Yeah.
It's in Washington. Redskins are on a bit of a streak, beat the Panthers. Did you know what? The Redskins team is actually quite good. I'll go Redskins.
The Redskins team is good, but when they play well, they play well. When they play bad, Christ, they're bad.
Yeah.
I think Dallas have finally figured out what they need to do to win. I think Dallas will win.
What, move Dak Prescott, actually, and rather than using him as a pocket passer?
That's a potential marmalader. I'm not quite sure yet. 49ers, Rams.
Rams? Oh, no, it's not going to be good. It's going to be ugly.
If you say 49ers, Mark.
I mean... It is
It
is the sort of game they'd lose. Like, I wouldn't bet against my own team, but like, of all the games...
Sometimes you remind me what an awful fan I am. Because whenever I predict a Panthers game, whenever I do my weekly pick'ems, the first thing I do is find the Panthers and click on Panthers, no matter who they're playing.
I will do that, but I mean, this is the sort of game where I can understand where someone will predict a loss, because it's just not the sort of game you'd expect them to lose. It's a divisional rivalry, and yeah, I can see them just, for whatever reason, just absolutely canning it. And
I'll give it to San Francisco. They've played really well since Garoppolo got injured, but I don't think
they've got to keep a hold of Shanahan and not let him go when his contract runs out. How long was it? 5 or 6 years? I can't remember.
I don't think it's 10 years, $100 million, because I think that went to the other guy that hasn't
the
done
other
anything
offensive
in 16
mastermind
years.
on the West Coast.
Yeah.
We going Rams then?
Yeah.
Chiefs, Bengals, marmalade.
Yeah.
Straight in there. I'm very excited about this game.
Do you know what?
Would you marmalade it too?
Cincinnati.
Oh.
This is it. This is what happens to Kansas City every year. The peak. And then go down again.
Fair point. I'm going to go Chiefs.
I want the Chiefs to win because I like Patrick Mahomes.
Mate,
Mark's fantasy-powered brain is currently thinking, but Mahomes will get 30 points, so they must win. Mahomes will get 30 points, so they must win.
I'm also thinking,
Kareem Hunt.
I've got Andy Dalton.
Andrew Dalton.
I've got
Andrew Dalton.
Get down here now.
Are you going to start him?
Yeah.
Oh, well, more for the fantasy segment later.
Well, I would start Dalton against that defense.
It's the no defense game of the year.
Yeah. Falcons, Giants. Oh, you didn't pick, actually, did you?
I didn't pick, no. Can I pass until we get back to
it?
All right,
when we get to the marmalade section. And the last one, Falcons, Giants.
Atlanta,
unfortunately.
Yeah, the Falcons.
So to recap, do I recap? Yeah. Cardinals, Broncos, we went fairly, well, you two went Broncos. Chargers, Titans, 2 of us went Titans, and that's a marmalader. Eagles, Panthers, 2 of us went Panthers, that's a marmalader. Jets, Vikings, we went Vikings in the end, but we're hovering on Jets. Colts, Bills, we went Bills. I know we went Colts.
Don't even joke.
And Derek Anderson. Bears, Patriots, we went Patriots, but that's a marmalader. Bucs, Browns, we went Browns, didn't we? And Max didn't want to talk about it. Jags, Texans. Did we go to? What did you go get? You went Jags. Mark, what did you go for?
Jags.
Oh, I went Texans, but I think we marmaladed it. Dolphins, Lions. We went for. That was ambiguous, actually. You two went Dolphins, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I went Lions. That's one we could talk about. Ravens, Saints. We went Saints. You went Ravens, but we'll definitely talk about that one. Redskins, Cowboys. Mark, what did you go for on that one in the end?
Redskins.
Yeah, so 2 Redskins. 49ers, Rams. We all went Rams. Shock, horror.
7-0.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, Mark. Chiefs, Bengals. 1 for each, and then Mark sat definitively on the fence, but we'll get an answer out of him eventually. And then Falcons, Giants. We went for Falcons. And that little recap was entirely for my sake when I plan next Tuesday's episode, and we get to laugh at the person who got them wrong. But yeah, moving forward. You are why. Wow, it's almost as if I've edited that in, and this is a new segment of the show, but we are on live radio, everybody. Right, let's get on to our marmalades. So the first one was Chargers, Titans. I will give you my reasons for picking Titans, and you can try and tell me why I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Titans always win games they shouldn't win. Titans always make interesting games boring.
Yeah.
Titans always win games by like 3 points, and it's a 15-12 game kind of thing. Yeah?
Yeah.
Titans should not beat the Chargers, 1. Chargers have a really good offense, 2. Titans will just show up and will squeeze out a game and will be the worst advertisement for UK football that we have ever seen. Change my mind.
See, I think that this is just, the Chargers are, at this point, have to do something because it's just been year on year of so close yet so far. I know what you mean about the Titans because they play the Patriots in a few weeks. They'll probably beat the Patriots, and then the following week, and not playing the Browns the following week, but then they'll probably lose to them. Like, that's just the way they work. But I don't know. I suppose if we're thinking about it it practically Los Angeles have further to come. So the whole sort of jet lag time difference thing is going to get on Los Angeles a lot more than it is Tennessee. But Los Angeles are so loaded, and they play. I know it's only the Browns, but they played so well. They controlled every aspect of it. They've got stars on defense. Offensively, they're just clicking. Melvin Gordon seems to hit his stride. I don't think Tennessee will be able to stop that.
Is Bosa's not back this week, is he?
No.
He's back after they have their bye next week, and he's trying to come back for the Seahawks game in week 9.
Plus, Tennessee...
Mate, he doesn't need to come back for that.
Yeah.
Tennessee,
you could just feel Melvin Gordon is playing well, Mark.
Nah,
but you could just feel Melvin Gordon and probably put up as many points as the Seahawks offense.
Interestingly, I will just quickly say this. If you do have an issue with any of our predictions, or you want to weigh in on these marmalades, do get in touch. The website, send a message via the website, uoy.org.uk, or drop us a text, 07851 101 313. That's 07851 101 313. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Mark, who did you go for in that game?
I went for the Titans.
Tell me why. Did you put up a fight?
I mean, I feel sorry for you, Colin, because I'm not very good at picking. I kind of just pick on a gut instinct.
As you can see by our weekly pick 'em league, in which Mark is. Mark is the strongest player in the league because he's at the bottom holding everyone else up.
I'm a very consistent player. I consistently score like 50 less than everyone else. I just feel that Mariota, he can play really well, and I just get the feeling that he might do.
This kind of winds me up. Do you remember when Mariota won Player of the Week against...
Was it Philadelphia?
Yeah, when they made 3 fourth down conversions. Yeah. He really didn't play that well. He got some nice extra yards in overtime that made his stat line look good, but he's just...
You picking the Titans.
I know. I'm not picking the Titans for him. I'm picking the Titans for A, Dion Lewis, B, Corey Davis, and C, the Titans defense. And that was in reverse order. I think the Titans defense will show up in a way that they've been missing.
The thing is, though, I think the Chargers are built very similarly to the Ravens in the sense that the Chargers like to run the ball, Chargers like to play big defense. The difference between the Chargers, I think, is their offense is a little bit more high-powered.
Yeah.
But if Bosa was back for this game, we could be seeing part 2 of last week, where it's a complete shutout, 12 sacks, but I don't know.
I did say this during the rewind, but some people might have missed it. So there were, I can't remember the exact number of snaps. It was 30-something offensive snaps.
Yeah.
And 11 of them were sacks. So that means 28% of the time. So almost 1/3 of the time. 1 out of every 3 times Mariota dropped back, he was sacked.
Yeah,
that's
incredible.
Insane.
That's not good.
And you still think they're going to win?
Yeah.
Okay. I know what you mean. It's Titans, typical Titans. They're just...
To just show up when they shouldn't. That's what makes the NFL so interesting. Eagles-Panthers.
I'll
let someone else take the lead on this one because I will obviously have a very impassioned view and I want to sit back and listen to some more neutral perspectives.
Because I'm thinking back to last year's game, which finished, 28-23?
Firstly, what a game that was.
Secondly, the Eagles were leading by 12 points and the Panthers scored last, so it makes it look a little closer than it was. But the difference this year is the Panthers' offense is playing better, though its defense isn't playing as well. But what was a difference maker in the game last year was the Eagles' front seven. They dominated that Carolina offensive line. And was that not the game as well with the stupid Kelvin Benjamin running off his route and the Jonathan Stewart interception that actually just went straight through his hands and into the defensive back?
It went through he missed the ball, but it bounced off his fingertips and then he flicked it up. And then flicked it up too far away from him to catch it, and it just got picked. So Cam had 2 picks on that game. One of them was Kelvin Benjamin just whiffing completely on his route. Yeah. And the other one was that Jonathan Stewart thing.
So I think there's a whole combination of things last year that led to the Eagles winning. The Eagles are not as strong. The Panthers are stronger in areas that they were weaker in last year and weaker in areas they were stronger in. I think the Eagles will still win, but I think this could be quite a messy game.
Yeah. Mark?
Yeah, I think the Panthers' offense is doing very well at the moment. It's quite on fire.
I'll correct you there. Cam Newton is doing very well. He's quite on fire.
And I don't think the Eagles' offense seems as slick as it has done last year. And given that, basically, the Panthers will be able to outscore them. And I don't think we've really seen the Eagles defense do anything amazing over the last couple of weeks. All right, it's not a bad defense, but it's not something special. And when you have to worry about sort of the passing game, the rushing game, and Cam Newton, I reckon they're not going to be up for it.
I think two things worry me. I'm sitting here in my Panthers top. I will admit bias. Two things worry me. One is that Eagles front seven, combined with. So for those of you who don't know, we lost like 3 of our main offensive linemen in the first couple of weeks of the season. So our O-line is kind of a patchwork system, but it's been playing very well, particularly on the interior and on the right side. One issue now, I think, is Chris Clark, who's the left tackle that we picked up in free agency after the season started. So he couldn't actually get a team. And he played very well the first couple of weeks, and I like his effort, but he's been kind of showed up the last few weeks, and he'll be lining up against Brandon Graham, Chris Long,
Fletcher
Cox, hello Ian Gatter. That stresses me out, I'm not going to lie. Particularly like Fletcher Cox in particular. You know how much I like Cox. Fletcher Cox in particular last year was the game wrecker, and he blew up the Panthers O-line more times than I can count. And he didn't get the sacks that necessarily his play warranted, because Cam is Cam. And Cam has shown he can play behind a shaky O-line. The other thing that stresses me out is our coaching staff, and I spoke about this a bit on Tuesday's show, but if we continually refuse to play 2 of our fastest and best at getting separation receivers, Curtis Samuel and Damier Byrd, in favour of Torrey Smith, who the coaching staff like. I like him as a person. I think he's the main reason we signed Eric Reid. So in that of itself, he served a function for us. But in terms of on the field, I follow an account called Panthers Film Review, which, as the name suggests, looks over Panthers film, and he loves Curtis Samuel. If you look at the Samuel snaps, he either attracts 2 or 3 defenders on his deep route or always gets separation. That's something Torrey Smith can't do, and that's something the Panthers offense is lacking. And people are putting it on Cam that he hasn't made. He's only made 1 throw of over 20 yards this season.
That is a fairly awful stat.
But it's not Cam's fault. This is my issue.
This is an underrated point as well, because what we've seen has been key to the Eagles losing is stretching their secondary. Yeah. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers did it with Deshaun Jackson, and it ruined them. The Vikings did it with Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, and it ruined them. And I think if the Panthers play it smart, that's the way to beat them. Beat them through the air, and get the ball out as quickly as you can away from that front seven. Put it into the secondary, because that secondary isn't that good. It never was in the first place. They're the sort of team that kind of relies on that front seven creating the pressure, getting the sacks, and forcing the ball out when it shouldn't come out, and therefore getting the turnovers. But we've seen it twice this year from teams that shouldn't be as good as the Eagles, that they're capable of doing that when they've got the receiver there. Yeah. And I think the Panthers have it,
but they're
it's
not
just
using
frustrating that they're not using it.
Super frustrating. And we've got Funchess played really well the other day, made some really good catches. I like Funchess as our number 1. I hope he signs quite a cheap deal next year. Jarius Wright, I love, has been playing really well. I don't dislike Torrey Smith. I just want to see his snap count limited in favour of these young guys who I think can be game changers for us. But yeah, like you said, it's all about the game will come down to how quickly can Cam get the ball out. Yeah. / if he's just in one of those Cam moods where anything is possible, and he rushes for 100 yards off scrambles, and whether they use McCaffrey in the passing game as well. Actually, that's another thing that's been winding me up recently. But I could go on all day about my gripes with the Panthers team. But I'm back in the Panthers. But equally, if we lose, I'm hoping it will at least be a good game that gives me a heart attack. So that I don't have to suffer.
Amazing.
Colts Bills, can we briefly just touch on the fact that Derek Anderson is the Bills' starting quarterback? For those of you who don't know, Derek Anderson was a perennial backup in Carolina for about what feels like forever, but realistically it was more like 5 to 7 years.
Can I just say how sorry I felt for him? Because you've got to bear in mind that he's watching Cam Newton, who's about 20 foot taller than him, about 200 pounds heavier than him, running around like an idiot. And he knows that if he gets injured, he's got to go out there and do that. And he's just looking like...
Imagine handing Derek Anderson the playbook made for Cam Newton. What would you like? Derek Anderson is built kind of like me.
You have to plough through this offensive lineman.
Derek Carr, who is about Derek Anderson, who's about 6'2" and looks about 150 pounds. Like, it ain't gonna happen.
So, Mr. Anderson, we need you to block this defensive tackle for us.
Yeah. Oh God.
The Colts defense hasn't been particularly on fire this season, but I did notice they're top 10 in sacks, and I think in interceptions.
They're not actually playing that bad.
Malik Hooker, I like.
Yeah,
as well.
I think
a lot of good young safeties in the league.
I think they're just the sort of team that leaks points. So that game against the Jets, I actually watched, and it was a very fun game. But what ended up happening in the second half, it was field goal, and they were just leaking too much into.
Was there 7 in the end?
Yeah. So they let the Jets come too far.
I'm not sure that that's still going to change the fact that the Bills aren't going to win this. Like,
oh God, no!
What do the Bills have?
Derek Hansen.
Yeah.
LaShawn McCoy's been playing okay, but I said this at the start of the season. I'm not sure who I was talking to. Someone, probably one of you two. McCoy is a great player, but behind that O-line, he's going to do diddly squat.
He is doing diddly squat. He's just meh.
This is the same Bills team that went out and beat the same Titans team that went out and beat the Eagles.
I did see a tweet where it was like going around with every team who'd beat every team, and it ended up concluding the Browns were the best team in the league.
Damashek used to do that, and he used to end up being stupid, like, well, therefore, the Browns are better than the Patriots.
I don't think it's unremarkable to go for Colts in that game, particularly given that it's in Indy. Bears, Patriots. This is the real meaty one, isn't it? Let's be honest. Yeah. This is the kind of game that will get blacklisted by Sky Sports, so we won't be able to watch it.
Yeah.
Right. What did I go for? Patriots.
Yeah.
I love the Bears. Let me get this out of the way. One of my favourite teams so far this season. I think obviously Panthers. I've been loving the Jets and I've been loving the Bears. They've been my two nice. You're playing well. I enjoy this. It helps that I've also got the Bears as my defense in fantasy, which was an inspired decision in the draft. Can I just say?
Was Mac on the team, by the way?
Inviting Colin on fantasy is the biggest mistake I've ever made.
Yeah. We'll talk about this later. How good I am. Yeah. But Mac is going to be playing, I'm pretty sure. Mac Attack. The Mac Attack in orange and black, which looks more like navy blue. Mac will be playing. They've done tests. They don't think his ankle injury is long term. So I'm pretty sure he'll be all right to play in this game. But even if he's not, Leonard Floyd, I nearly said Troy Aikman there. I don't know why that name just
Troy
popped into
Aikman's
my
come
head.
out of retirement to play defense for the Chicago Bears.
What's his name? Eddie? I don't know. I love that Bears defense, and I think the Patriots will suffer somewhat against it. However, I read an article on NFL.com. I will admit this analysis is not my own. I'm not sure if I agree with it, that Miami exposed the Bears' yard after catch weakness.
Okay.
And I was a bit like, do they have a yard after catch weakness? Or have you just made that up to fit a narrative? But I think if there is any weakness there, of all the teams in the league, what team is going to pick up on it? The Patriots.
Yeah.
Of all the teams in the league, what team was the first to crack the Mahomes conundrum?
Yeah.
The Patriots. That's why I'm going Patriots. Even though it's at Soldier Field, even though the Bears are I know they got doused a bit in Miami, but they're still a bit on a hot streak. I think the Patriots are just the Patriots, and it's getting to the stage of the season now where Belichick just flicks his switch and everything starts working, and all those worries we had of the first 4 weeks start to fade away into the distance.
See, I have picked Patriots. They tend to play really well in cold weather cities. They're a cold weather team themselves. Like you say, they're smart enough at the sort of team.
Is that Liam Kilmington in the room?
But
weather.
Who? And this is, I don't know, maybe an underrated point. Maybe it's not even relevant. But who is the new head coach of the Chicago Bears? The same guy who was the offensive coordinator for the one team that seemed to know how to get underneath the Patriots' skin and know how to beat them, especially in the regular season. Matt Nagy, offensive coordinator of Kansas City Chiefs. He has been experimenting so much with his team. They're doing creative things. A couple of weeks ago, I think it was against Tampa, where they had the dual quarterback snap, where the two quarterbacks were stood there, and you didn't know which one it was going to. It was crazy.
Didn't go to either in the end, did it? It was like a jet sweep or something.
I think it was something like that, yeah. So, I don't know. I think
he probably has a whole new playbook for this Patriots game, just because that Bill Belichick has zero film.
Yeah,
because he knows that Bill Belichick can destroy any team that he has any film.
I also think we still haven't seen what Trubisky can do.
Trubisky's getting better.
He could show up in this game big time.
I feel he might do, and the Bears will be ahead by like a stupid number of points, and then you'll just get Brady thrown to Gronk under pressure from Mac every time, and it's still coming off for a first down, and they just move, score, and the defense steps up in that fourth quarter, and everyone's just like it's just the same story over and over again. But I think that the Bears will hold out, and it'll be a massive comeback. But the Bears will hold out, and the Bears will win.
#bear down.
Here's a controversial point, maybe. I think Trubisky is having a better second year than Deshaun Watson.
Yes, that's not controversial.
And Deshaun Watson came pretty close. And I'd say that this Chicago Bears team is a lot better than the Houston Texans team, top to bottom. And they're playing in Soldier Field. And I know it's Chicago. It doesn't... Chicago have a massive, massive history in the league. They've got dedicated fans. This is a massive game where a couple of years ago, don't talk about it. No one's going to show up because we know it's going to be a blowout. But this could actually be... This could be like one of those games, like breakthrough games.
Yeah. When you start talking about the Bears as legitimate contenders.
Yeah.
Well, the Patriots are 4-2 at the moment, aren't they? So it's not like a must win, but this is the kind of point in the season where they stop losing these kind of games.
Yeah. But if the Bears win this, the Bears win their division.
Oh, nice one. Yeah. I like that.
You just wanted to say that, didn't you?
I think the Bears will win the division anyway. I think the Bears are the best team in the NFC North.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
Controversial. I'm still rocking with Patriots, but I'd be happy to be proven wrong on that one. Bucs and Browns, I want to talk about it, but
go on then.
I just think, firstly, it's a nice game. I might put it on and watch it this Sunday with Max, like we always do, because I love watching people squirm, and I think it would be really nice to watch Max try and choose between his favourite player and his favourite team.
True.
Baker versus the Bucs.
True story.
Seriously though, Denzel Ward, I think, is good enough to take away Mike Evans. I think that Deshaun Jackson will have a big game. I think that OJ Howard will have a big game, but I think that Baker will have a bigger game. And I just think this is the game when it's like, whoa, mama, Baker is good.
That's what Baker Mayfield does, though, is he fights back and he comes back, and he had a bad game last week. He's not going to have two bad games in a row, especially last week he was playing a really tough defense. This week he's playing a defense with a new defensive coordinator that is 30th in the league.
Yeah, could that be when coaches or coordinators get sacked, you often see like an instant kind of, even if it's just temporary, like a big uptick because players are playing for the new coordinator and they want to get their names in and they want to show that they fit in the scheme, etc., etc.
Well, it's an internal promotion.
Their defense is 32nd. They actually have the worst defense in the league.
Okay.
Deep breaths.
It's an internal promotion. I think it's our linebackers coach now. I'm not sure, but the point is, I was reading an article. I think it was Levante David talking about, which is why I think it was a linebackers coach. And they love him, and they think he's great. And if it is a linebackers coach, well, that's a good thing for me because our linebackers have been the star of the defense for the last few years.
Excuse me, sorry.
So if there's anyone that's going to kind of get the ball rolling on some sort of momentum, I think it would be him.
I just think I don't know enough about the two teams to have a proper discussion about, but I just like the Browns.
Do you know what I would love to see happen? It's like, I don't know, like 28-24 Browns, and the Browns are like on a drive, and Baker purposely throws it to like, I don't know, Brent Grimes, our cornerback, and Grimes runs it into the end zone for a touchdown, and Baker Mayfield tears off his Browns jersey to reveal a Buccaneers jersey underneath, and it has the number 3 on it, and Winston still on the sideline like, what? And it's on the screen like, Winston has been fired, and Mayfield is our new quarterback. That would be the best thing to have ever happened.
A secret trade.
Can you imagine?
Imagine finding out that you've been fired that way. Do you even get fired as an NFL player, or would you just get cut?
I don't care.
Winston has been traded to the Browns for Baker Mayfield. Mid-game, literally before the snap.
This trade is immediate. Jameis Winston, please get to the Browns sideline.
He just wants to walk across the field and try and lead a game-winning drive with 10 seconds left.
Do you know what? He would as well. He would.
Just to spite the Bucs. We're going Browns on that one. Jags Texans. Exciting. Will the Jags bounce back? Defense won't, Bortles will. That's what I'm saying. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're
It's going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
And Bortles will... what did I pick on this one? What did you pick?
I picked Jags.
You picked Jags, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I picked Texans. It's going to be a blowout, and Deshaun Watson will come out on top.
I think that Jacksonville will win because if they lose this game, that's 3 games in a row that they shouldn't have lost. And see, this is the thing, is sometimes teams will have this sort of like, oh, all of a sudden they're really good, like the Raiders did 2 years ago, and then the following season we have such a high expectation.
And they fall short.
I'm not comparing Derek Carr to Blake Bortles, but Derek Carr had a really good season.
How rude to Blake Bortles.
Yeah, Derek Carr had a really good season, and since then has just not played
Derek
that
Carr
well.
is a Pro Bowler, though.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you now, I've seen enough.
Pro Bowl.
Derek Carr is not a franchise quarterback.
Ooh.
I've decided that now.
Oh,
Same as Blake Bortles, even though they try to make him out to be.
Blake is 100% franchise quarterback.
no, he's not.
But Mark, I think, said on Tuesday, Blake Bortles is the sort of guy you criticize enough, he'll come out and shred him.
He needs to have a big game. Like, he's been playing quite badly for the last couple of weeks. Like, he needs to come out and have a big game.
It's tough when you get no support from your defense.
What? Oh, stop it. The defense might have a really good day, given the fact that Houston have pretty much no offensive line.
Yeah. Houston have allowed 70 quarterback pressures through the first 6 weeks. That's over 10 per week.
Yeah.
70. Wow. Yeah. That's bad. And
I
especially with the Jags.
Do you know what? Even so, I know we're saying Deshaun Watson's not having a great year. Texans are still top 5 in a lot of kind of offensive metrics, apart from obviously red zone, which we spoke about on Tuesday.
But that's all that matters. Like, if you can't score, to be fair, quickly going over to fantasy, it's great for me because I have Kai Fairbairn, or however you pronounce his name. But like, having their kicker is great because they can't score a touchdown. So
true, actually, isn't it? I just think this is the week where... sorry, it's quite early in the morning. DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson rekindle. Will Fuller continues his streak of not really being present but equally occupying defenders, and Kiki QT will have a very big game. And I think Bortles will make some incredible throws. I think Moncrief will finally have a decent game. I think DJ Chark will have a good game, but I think both defenses will get slashed.
It could be quite high scoring, actually.
The only Jags defensive player so far this year who I have rated as good in my column rating system, this is not PFF. Do not at me as if I have some kind of scientific rating behind this. It's just based on what I watch, is Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, he's
you know what? Miles Jack and Telvin Smith, I don't think have been playing too bad either, but the D-line's not what it was a year ago. And Ngakoue been playing quite well also. Okay, fine. There have been quite a few players on the Jags defense who have played well. But it's not like it was like last year. You look at the Jags defense every week and you could be like, oh, he could be defensive player of the week. He could be defensive player of the week. He could be defensive player of the week. This year it's been like, oh, and Ngakoue had a good game last week.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, that when you're that defense stood on the sideline and Blake Bortles goes 3 and out again, that is the sort that you know, the sort of egos on that team and that defense that are going to go, really? We have to go out there again? What's the point? What's the point? If the offense can't get their job done, what's the point of us getting our job done?
They've been carrying that team for too long.
I think that's true. The Giants last year had the number 1 defense against the rush, yet we're still 3-13 because they're out there so much. Because their offense can't get anything going. It makes sense.
Like, you really enjoy arguing against people and you like to be the contrarian, but equally logic just completely defies you. That's how I feel with Blake Bortles sometimes. So come on, Blakey. I need a good game from you this week. But yeah, Texans will win that one. Well, I think they will. You think Jags will win?
Jags.
Well, we'll see on Tuesday when I'm right. Mystic Colin, baby. He's back. Next one we talk about Ravens Saints. This is going to be good, baby. Or it's just going to be a massive blowout and the Ravens won't show up.
Yeah. Because I think New Orleans are built to win. However, see, if this was in New Orleans win, but it's in Baltimore, and Baltimore's also a very difficult place to go and win.
Is it called the Flock? Or is that the name for their fans?
I don't know, to be honest. Wow, I don't know. The only team that's caused Baltimore problems this year is Cincinnati. I know they lost to the Browns, but even the Browns challenged their own divisional opponents.
Yeah.
But the Bengals have been playing exceedingly well, beyond all expectations.
Yeah.
The Saints are the Saints. We know what they're about.
I just think, speaking as an NFC South fan who has to endure Drew Brees twice a year, I've learnt never to bet on defense against Drew Brees, because I think Flacco's playing well. The wrong game is playing okay, but like Baltimore's offense is no slouch, but the strength of the team is the defense, and that strength will carry them far. But Drew Brees, man. Yeah. Drew Brees.
I know what you're saying.
He'll chop him up. He'll serve him for dinner.
He can hit his passes. Like he's not going to throw something stupid. He's been in the league long enough.
He's not going to do a Mariota. Like, I know, obviously, the 11 sacks, you can't attribute them all to Mariota, but equally, Drew Brees will be better at diagnosing blitzes if they come. He'll be better at sorting out his protection. He'll be better at getting the ball out quickly if he needs to. And honestly, he'll be better at, if there's nothing available, just throwing the ball away to make sure that he doesn't go through the sack. Whereas I think Mariota sometimes tries to do the Superman play.
I think all the young quarterbacks do. That they all seem to have the superback mindset, which
it's because they've watched Cam Newton. Like, you can't blame them. When you see a god do his work, you kind of want to copy it, don't you?
Oh, dear. We haven't got on to Chiefs yet, but like Patrick Mahomes definitely has that sort of Superman complex of just being like, I'm going to do everything I can. And like we're seeing,
I feel like Mahomes backs up though.
Well, I mean, he has done, but we've seen the last couple of weeks him throw those interceptions where you're like, mate, you kept the play alive for like 12 seconds. Well done. But just chuck it out. You had nothing. Yeah. Like,
or like Josh Allen the other week. God, that was a I think we watched that together, didn't we?
Was that the one into triple coverage?
Oh,
it was the one where he got flushed out the pocket, and he literally, I can't for the life of me remember what game it was, but he had two men on him chasing him down, and he was essentially at the sideline. And despite the fact he had these, could have been the Ravens game, but he didn't play. That was the first game of the year, wasn't it? No, it wasn't the Ravens. And he tried to like throw it back across his body on the sideline while being tackled by two defenders into the end zone, and it just went straight to, like, there were literally four of them essentially queuing up to have a crack at the pick, and it just came down to which one of the opposition team was going to get the ball. And it was just the kind of thing where, like, either you run out of bounds because it was third down anyway, I think, and you take the field goal, or you just throw it away. And he tried to go for everything. And I think it's just a rookie quarterback kind of complex that they need to prove themselves. And I think, in fairness, in this league where even if you're Baker Mayfield's number one overall pick, you have one bad game, all of a sudden people are down on you. You kind of can't blame them.
Yeah. Just rounding off this Baltimore game, though, this is almost like an essential game, because if Baltimore win, they go to 5-2. The Steelers are now 3-2-1, only one game behind, although 1.5 because Baltimore beat them. Cincinnati, I expect. I said I think they could win. We'll get onto that, but the likelihood is if they do lose, they fall to 4-3. Suddenly, the Baltimore Ravens are kind of clear
the team
at top. So for Baltimore, this is an essential game to win.
Same with the Saints. Saints are at 4-2, aren't they?
4-1. 4-1. So if they lose and the Panthers win, then obviously they will be tied. And this is what I was saying about the Panthers on Tuesdays. I think the Panthers have more of an opportunity to shoot themselves in the foot, given the coaching and defense. Whereas the Saints, I think, can recover from this loss because it's an away loss.
Yeah. Just double check.
He's double checking away to tell us we're wrong, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, Saints are they 3-1?
They're 4-1.
But they haven't had their bye yet, have they?
No, so they're 4-1.
But this is week 7, so they must play 6 games. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, this isn't weeks.
Is this week 6? Oh, that's funny.
Really?
I'm going to cut this bit out.
Yeah.
So the Saints are 4-1. Yes, I agree with you, Max. That's a great fact that you've brought to the table.
No, we are going into week 7. They should have played 6 games. Maybe they have.
They must have had their bye.
They must have had their bye.
Yeah, they did. Because
who cares? The point is the Saints are 4-1
last week.
Oh, well, there we go.
Or
with the entire Saints team had their bye last week. God, Mark, check your facts, man. God, there's no room on this show for mistakes.
Moving on.
Let me just beep. There we go. Now I know where to edit.
Just leave it all in and then just random beep.
Live radio.
Oh,
don't you just love it? Chiefs Bengals. I can't remember who I picked in this one.
Bengals, I think, are going to score big.
Yeah,
but I think the Chiefs are going to score bigger.
Good week to have Andy Dalton.
Big. Like, how do you even pick? Like,
I'm going to go Chiefs just because of Andy Reid.
Oh yeah.
I challenge Patrick Mahomes to not turn it over this week. Because if they do, against that defense, which he's likely to do because it's a good defense, the offense is going to punish him for it.
Let's do a little. Let's steal something from NFL Network. Let's go through the different facets of the team. We're going to have to make it a short fantasy section, but that's fine. Go through the different facets of the team and rate them. So quarterbacks, Mahomes or Dalton?
Mahomes is better, but Dalton is playing well. Well, I mean, his receivers are making him look like he's playing well.
No, I think Dalton's playing well.
I think Dalton's playing all right.
I'd give it Dalton. No, but as in they're playing well, not over Mahomes. Running back / receivers.
Kareem Hunt over Joe Mixon. However, Mixon is playing well.
Yeah, and equally, AJ Green, Tyler Boyd, both playing really well. I can't remember. Did the Bengals even have a third receiver?
John Ross.
Playing really well.
Yeah.
But then you look at the Chiefs.
Tyreek Hill.
It just doesn't stop.
Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, Kareem Hunt.
But I just don't get how Tyreek Hill gets free every week. Like, come on. He's their main receiver. Just
speed.
I think it's a speed thing. I think once you've lost a speed battle within 2 seconds, it's been decided.
Did you see the one the other week where he caught it and just ran up the sideline? It was just, there were 3 people who were there, and normally it would be fine. But they just can't catch him, and it's like...
The problem is if you double cover Tyreek Hill, the likelihood is you will defend the pass because he's too short. But if you double cover him, you're not double covering Kelce, and you need to double cover him. And if Watkins is free, I think they've been describing Watkins as when he catches the ball, he becomes a running back because the way that he moves once he catches the ball is quite unique, and he does kind of do the Le'Veon Bell sort of thing where he just guides his way through. So you're lost regardless of who you choose.
It is a big defensive scheming task for the Bengals. I think it'll just be a shootout. It's going to be such a good game.
We won't be watching if you like shootouts. Not good for your defensive purists.
Is it in Kansas City, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah. It is, in which case Kansas City win. Yeah. Bengals are not going to Arrowhead
on this one as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Just to be different, I'm going to go Bengals.
I'm shocked you didn't pick the Browns in this game. I know the Browns aren't playing, but you seem to like the Browns.
Did you pick the Browns this week?
Yeah, I will do.
Yeah, classic Mark. You are white. And now it's time for the premiere of another new segment, Fantasy Football. Hit it, Mark. Fantasy football, fantasy football, fantasy football. Fantasy football, fantasy football, fantasy football.
Do you know what I thought you were trying to do? What?
I love how we didn't plan that, by the way. That was just a telepathic link between us.
You know the Back to the Future theme song? It sounded like you were trying to do that just really badly.
I don't think I could do that.
I think we should change it every week to a different movie or TV show theme song. Because when you said...
There's a hair on my microphone.
Nice.
It's gone now.
Right, fantasy football tips. This is going to be mainly me and Mark because Max has given up the fantasy football game.
Right, can I just say, the reason I gave up was because I didn't even get a chance to start. Because I was at work the night we did the draft, and I was not happy with the way that my default draft worked, okay? I'm not last, though, and I haven't even touched it.
Aaron Rodgers is kind of bringing you through. But who's first, Mark? Can I just ask you?
Colum.
Yep. Who's the top scoring player in the league?
Colum.
Who is just dominating everyone he sees. I'm on a 5-game unbeaten run. The only game I lost was against your brother.
Yeah, okay.
In week 1, where he was the top scoring team and I was the second top scoring team.
Yeah.
As if. I should be 6-0, but it's fine. I'm beating Mark's dad. That's my main rival at the moment. Who's your number 1 start for this week, Mark? Hit me with it.
My number 1 starter for this week.
That's not like...
Don't look at me. I don't know what the hell is going on.
I wouldn't...
A cheeky one.
I wouldn't trust
I'll read you Mark's team at the moment.
So, from my team, I would say Andy Dalton. As we said, it's going to be a shootout.
You need to sort your team out then, boy.
I do. Yeah, I do need to sort my team out.
Says the person that traded Patrick Mahomes for Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram's back this week and he's going to net me at least 8 points. Okay. I'll walk you through what I think. So my number 1 start of the week, probably Andy Dalton against that Chiefs defense. I think that's a good shout. Tyler Boyd, receiver Cincinnati. I've got him in my league. He played really well for me last week. He's been coming in clutch. So if you don't have him yet, I'd pick him up. Sterling Shepard, I think, is going to have a big game. I'm maintaining faith in DJ. I'll tell you why. Denver are the first team in NFL history to let up 200-yard rushers in consecutive games. So it was Melvin Gordon last week, and then the week before, was that Crowell?
Sorry.
For the Jets.
Yes, yeah.
So I think if anyone can do it, hopefully DJ. Sit of the week, obviously don't play anyone who's on a bye. Will Fuller. I think, yes, he's had a couple of good weeks early in the season. He's got a great connection with Deshaun Watson. But against that Jacksonville secondary, no.
Also, probably Calvin Ridley. I mean, I know I've got him, but I don't know why anyone would start him. Good question. But he has been a bit of a touchdown machine in sort of the past. But against the Giants, I think their main receivers are just going to do it.
Well, I might argue with you on that one. I think Calvin Ridley would be a good start. You can take my fancy advice if you want, Mark. Yeah.
Why do you think it would be a good start?
It's a Giants secondary.
Does he not have an ankle injury that I have just made up in my head?
He's not listed as injured on
okay.
on the fantasy report.
No.
He should be fine.
Hopefully he's all right then, because he's quite an exciting player to watch.
Yeah, but if
only he got picked.
If the Giants secondary isn't strong enough, then it will just go to Julio. And
Giants secondary played quite well against Panthers, and against who did they play last week?
Well, this is the thing. The Giants' defense isn't bad.
Yeah.
The offense is just atrocious.
The offense is just Saquon Barkley, isn't it?
Oh yeah, should we talk about Saquon a bit more? Because man, I love that guy, and we didn't really get to talk about him on Tuesday.
Yeah, let's talk about him now.
Let's do the debate, man. Should you take a running back at 2, even if it is Saquon Barkley? I still say no.
No, I think you should pick David Johnson.
No, not in the fantasy.
Yeah,
in the real world.
Though.
The real world draft.
Based on what he's done for that team, yes.
But here's the argument. Based on what he's done for that team, he has done essentially everything he can, and he's churning out incredible numbers. And yet, has he made that Giants offense any more functional?
Yes.
Yes, he has, but not to the extent where he can majorly impact games.
The team is 1-5, and on what? It's Q to go 3-13 again.
If the Giants had taken Darnold, would they be 1-5?
No, they would be better. And I'm at the point now where Manning should be dropped.
Yeah.
Laletta should play. And I think Saquon will do what Christian McCaffrey had to do. He's going to have to sit there and play receiver because they don't actually have a competent enough offensive line or quarterback yet that can deal with the offensive line. And then once they finally get that, they'll give Barkley more of a running duty.
He's still, that 9-yard run against Philly where he essentially dodged 6 or 7 would-be tacklers and just jumped over him. That was insane. But you can't expect him to do that on every single run. And I think that's
Didn't he do a sideways jump over someone?
Yeah, Jenkins went into it for a chop tackle and he jumped over him, but perfectly timed it so both his legs went like that.
The thing, Elliott got picked at 4, so it's not, I don't think picking Barkley at 2 was ridiculous, but the difference is Ezekiel Elliott was picked at a time when Dallas had the best offensive line in football. So it just makes perfect sense, especially given the fact that Elliott's a battering ram anyway.
Yeah.
With Barkley, the offensive line is deplorable. It is just terrible, and I feel sorry for Eli Manning, but he's not helping himself either.
So who would have got Barkley if the Giants hadn't? Would it have got down to Browns at 4 picking Barkley?
Browns wouldn't have taken Barkley.
I don't think they would. I think they would have still picked Denzel Ward.
Yeah. Colts potentially. But
I don't know.
I like Quentin Nelson at 6. Could have been Denver. Which I don't know. I'm on the fence about the Chubb. This has kind of turned into a mini draft recap. I'm a bit on the fence about the Chubb pick because yes, he's made a difference to their defense, and I think John Elway was just worried that people were starting to question his talent assessing abilities, so he needed to nab a good player. But Quentin Nelson was there.
See, I disagree. I think there's the most important position is a quarterback, and the second most important position is a pass rusher. And he's just got his pass rusher for the next 10 years. And I think that was a very smart move, given the fact that he wasn't going to take a quarterback, or at least he wasn't going to be given the chance to take a quarterback.
Would you have had the Bucs take Barkley if he was there at 7?
Yes.
That would have been so good.
That would have been tasty.
And the reason for it is because
McCaffrey in the same. Barkley, McCaffrey, Kamara, all in the same division.
Because at that point, there wouldn't necessarily be the star pass rusher.
Yeah.
Yes, we'd need help on defense, but
But you'd just be able to put up so many points because your receivers are great.
This is also another thing. Running backs become exponentially more useful as your defense becomes better and as you score more points in the game, right? So
they can run the clock down.
There's kind of almost no point taking a running back unless you have A, a competent defense, and B, a competent offense. I feel like a running back is the last piece of the jigsaw rather than, unless, I don't want to be, Panthers biased, but unless you're a McCaffrey or Kamara who can just impact the game in so many different ways.
Not Gurley?
Oh, Gurley. Well, this is the thing about Gurley. I like him, but then I look at McVay and I'm like, if McVay could do that with anyone, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I disagree. Gurley had his first 2 years were incredible, and the only reason his stats were down in the second year is he was literally the only thing the Rams had.
Yeah.
They had no offensive line, they had no quarterback, they had no defense, and Jeff Fisher was like, Gurley for 2 yards. Because everyone knew what was going to happen. You stack the box because the quarterback can't do anything.
Yeah.
So,
Case Keenum.
Yeah. I'll give it a rest. This is the guy, by the way, that said last year when we were ranking our quarterbacks that Case Keenum was a definitive top 10 quarterback.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe top 10 in interceptions, but that's about it.
He is not the worst quarterback in the league.
Who is?
He's in the top half.
Who is?
Yeah.
This season.
Why is Eli in it?
Yeah, it's got to be Eli. Tannehill's down there.
Tannehill, statistically, is one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now.
Statistically, Blake Bortles is not playing very well.
Yeah, Yeah. In every sense, he's not.
Brain.
But yeah, as far as Saquon goes, I don't think they've made a mistake long term.
But they're paying him so much.
The only thing I will say, though, is when the quarterback is the most important player on your team, you need to develop a team around that player. If you think Eli is still good enough, they should have done better for him, and they haven't. So I question that, but ultimately, I think...
Should the Giants start Odell as their quarterback QB?
Oh, God. He's fast enough that he'd probably be able to launch it that high and pass it to himself.
He has a good arm on him. We saw that in the Panthers game. That play really wound me up.
Better than Manning.
Right.
Why did it wind you up, Colin?
Because it was against the Panthers.
Okay.
And because they scored a touchdown.
Yeah, but then that field goal.
I love Odell out of that 63-yarder. It's a shame we didn't talk about that on Tuesday, did we? Gano 63-yarder, Gano. And then do you know what his next kick was? An extra point attempt against Washington, and guess what happened?
He missed.
Oh, wow, consistency. And then the commentators were like, "Oh, Gano's made 27 consecutive field goals," and I was like, "Yeah, he hasn't made 27 consecutive extra points though, has he?"
Yeah. As soon as they say that, you're like,
maybe they should get another kicker. Like they should have a short range kicker and a long range kicker.
We're paying Gano enough money, I'll tell you that much. Right, that's the end of today's show. Thank you all very much for listening. We'll be back on Tuesday at 10 a.m, slightly later time, give you all a bit more of a line. For our recap, we'll be going back over our predictions and some other amazing content, talking about the main stories. If you've got anything that you want to see on the show, please do let us know. But for now, that's us at NFLementary on Twitter. Thank you very much. Goodbye.